And I explained in that one issue, show everybody who your main characters are, who the supporting cast is, why they do what they do, and set something up that is going to keep people on board as it goes forward in the future. That was the mission statement, and I worked with everybody to do that. And it is the one project that just about did me in. I mean, I was
Uh-huh.
on the verge of absolute exhaustion by the time we got done with that. I mean, this is all pre-internet. We couldn't scan stuff. We couldn't email stuff. I just had piles and stacks of paper and Xeroxes of pencils and plots and scripts and everything for the entire line, just, all over my studio. And it was just
Wow.
nuts. Yeah.
Hmm. It was big. How much prep time did you have? You said you wrote and drew 5 issues that were the 0 hour book.
Mhm.
How much prep time did you have? Did you have enough time, or were you racing on it?
When in this business, as you know, it always seems like there's going to be plenty of time. But deadlines and shipping schedules are always drawn up like everything is going to work perfectly when nothing does. So, as I'd be sending in scripts to get comments from each and every editor about the books, one of the things that had to happen is everybody was supposed to get their notes to me like within 48 hours, and three people would and no one else would, and
Yeah.
it
Hmm.
just fell apart on day 3, kind of like Spider-Man.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was exactly like that. So you said that that this almost did you in, and yet you went back and you created the tangent.
Hmm.
That was a stunt. That was an April extra week of April stunt, right?
Yes.
Where you created a whole line of books that was going to come out for that one extra week in April that nothing would be scheduled for. The tangent reality was taking the characters' names, basically, that we knew and
Hmm.
reimagining them. That was your pitch. Did you go in and say, "Hey, what about this?"
Yeah, I did, and it was based on very much, and some of the seeds actually were planted with 0 hour because of the awareness we had to, give the original reshaping of the DC universe that Julie Schwartz would have done starting with Showcase number 4.
Mm-hmm.
And where he took the name The Flash and basically just sort of reimagined and updated the concept. And what I said is, this would be much like that. We'll take the names, but we'll stretch farther. And the example I always used, if Man Bat had never existed and you were asked to reinvent or reimagine Batman, it would stand to reason you might come up with Man Bat, right?
Mm-hmm.
As
Right.
as that sort of logical sort of extension that is noticeably different yet still use the same name and some of the basic concepts. So that's where the Flash as a concept became sort of that pulsing burst of light. It's where really the Joker kind of became Harley Quinn, or
Mm-hmm.
precursor to Harley, in a way. So things like that, and that's really where it came from.
I I was honored and just excited because I was chosen to write the Flash. I got your
Hmm.
notes. You did call me up. You called up everyone just to touch base and be on the same page with everybody. You gave me the short form, and we talked. And you said, "I know you're going to be okay," and that was it. And I felt like I've got the blessings of the of the I got the blessings of the boss here, and it was just a lot of fun and so much fun for the readers that it came back the following, was it 2 years later, the next
Yeah,
year? Yeah.
yeah.
And
2 years
I got
later.
to write her again, and I love the character. You had said the Flash is going to be a burst of light. It's a female. You had outlined the origin idea, and just it was a joy to write and a lot of fun. And when it comes on my table every time the people want it autographed, they want to hear the whole story. So your name is always being mentioned.
Well, and the other part of it is, DC really did put a lot of resources into it. And I think that we all had this idea there would maybe be some way, some format, something that would allow us to continue. And that's even why, if you look at the trade dress from year 1, we still had the best looking books
Uh-huh.
of the year,
Uh-huh.
I think, just because the trade dress and everything, the cover treatment was so unique. But, from the time you first start talking until the time where the project is realized, and by that I mean manifests itself as printed product on the stands, the business went through a lot of changes. DC went through a lot of changes. And
Yeah.
I still think there is a lot of viability there some way, somehow, but I don't know that they'll ever want to tap into it again.
No, it's everything is when it comes to the creativity side of comics, there's these waves, I think, of people being very, very open and saying, let's blow out the doors and let people do whatever they want. Or, at
Hmm.
least bring in the ideas and see what it is. And then this incredibly conservative feeling that, no, we've got to sit back and see what's going to happen. We've got to keep going, just stay the course. Nobody get too crazy, nobody get too wild. But it's waves. There's cycles of that over the years. You were saying you came in about 84, 80, 82,
Yeah.
and that DC was opening the doors and saying, "Hey, let's take on these new ideas and see what they have, what they'll do." And then there's been years where just not at all. So I just said exactly what you just said, and should probably cut that out. Anyway,
Well, yeah, okay. So, but to your point, um, I think, you know, one of the biggest problems we have now is the universes at DC and Marvel have been stagnant for decades. And you talked earlier about reading Jim Starlin's stuff,
yeah.
right? And so if you think of the character slash world building that Jim did with, Captain Marvel had been there,
Hmm.
Warlock had been there, but then, you add the other characters that he did around them, and you create all of this stuff and build these new things and new books, or even Shang-Chi, that inhabit the Marvel universe as new properties, in essence, that you can get interested in as a reader. And part of that interest is saying, I want to see how this new character interacts with Iron Man, or
Hmm.
Spider-Man.